we can
keep
do
everyone
it.
on schedule. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you for coming, Ben.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. I'm just so relieved because, like, when you got picked up for the show, I mean, because first we had the pilot.
Yes.
Then we had to wait for the show to get picked up to series. And I get nervous because, because of the last TV series, and I love this character and this property so much.
Yeah.
So then I felt like we kind of got over a hell when we got season 2 announced. Then it felt like we were kind of on radio silence for a little while. Was there ever any concern if we were coming back for season 2? Because it felt like until we got like the trailer, I'm like, where
Where did
we?
it go?
Yeah, where did it go?
No, I mean we were on a pretty good, solid, fast track from season 1 into season 2. It was really just a question of getting the whole of it done, and then also falling into the sort of the system of Amazon of release. So like it just took a few more months, and then they revealed us. So there was no. It was just from my perspective, it was just a solid, almost like a whitewater river rafting adventure. It just from seasons 1 into 2 we just kept rolling practically.
So let's just get it on the table. Let's make season 3 right. Let's make it
I am
official.
down with that.
Season 3.
Yeah.
Yes?
No, I'm very excited. If you guys have green light power, then yes, let's do it. Didn't realize this was going to be such an important meeting. We're just like up and ready because for me the second season was about, in a sense, starting where every version of the Tick Arthur myth has started. We had to do backfilling for a sort of a more dramatic and more like realized version of where Arthur was coming from, and in this sense, there's setup in the first season that's designed to pay off in seasons 3, 4, and 5. This was thought out as something that wanted to. Barry,
Welcome,
Barry
Barry.
Sorry, it's on a
Josephson
phone. Sorry, my bad.
joining us.
Yeah.
Guys, I
just to
really
make
have
sure
to
I-
take my hat off to you because there may or may not be a character this season, a brilliant character that almost gave me a heart attack called Edlund.
Edgelord.
And just everything that comes out of this character, like I felt like, to me, he's like the most timely character in the show because
Edgelord.
he's like kind of like the 4chan character, if you know anything, if you've ever heard of 4chan.
I mean,
So,
4chan, yeah.
We've been very lucky that we've had a lot of actors inform back to the writer,
yeah.
and Edgelord, he's just cool.
But when I heard
The
him
actor's
Worked out
just
great.
cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
when I heard him say, "I walk between raindrops," and like I will do extreme things, yes.
Yeah.
I've needed this character my entire
We
life.
didn't
Like,
know that we needed Edgelord until he just got so Edgelord about it.
But like what goes into like coming up with the character? Because I think he's in the spirit of sort of the Tick style, but I think he's sort of a new spin.
Mm-hmm.
So what goes into
that's a good point.
that kind of character?
I mean, Edgelord is part of the beauty of opening the game up to more minds, because I think the name Edgelord came from Dan Hernandez, one of our writers, Dan and Benji Samet, and it was a character that sort of started to form. It just sort of something about that name everything came encoded in it. The way you're reacting to it. It was like how the attitude of this person, almost like a kind of disgruntled, semi-autistic IT guy. Like that sort of feeling was where he's coming from. And then we found Julian, who plays
great.
him, and it just sort of took off. So collaboration, that's how it worked.
Yeah, and Ramses before Miss Lind didn't really have the greatest group of guys working for him.
Sure.
I mean, they were good, they were functioning, but they were not. He didn't hire the brightest guys to
Didn't
be
have
his.
Edgelord.
No, he did not have Edgelord, and Lint needed Edgelord, right?
I mean, it's like something about her little crew with Frank from the former season, Josh, and it feels like she's got a good little. Well, more than efficacy, they've just got a good little comedy team going.
Absolutely.
of
Frank
dudes.
Frank is the one who brings in Edgelord.
He's
you
the
know?
heart of the team.
Yeah.
But I just love that scene where they're looking through the tweets and they see the comparison photos of her in and out of the mask and like, how can they tell it's me? I'm wearing a mask.
None of the characters
like-
seem to understand this problem. Like Arthur doesn't get it. Like, no, I don't get it. I was wearing a mask. Because that's what it works so well in superhero universes. They want that, and we never give that to those people. People are like, oh no, I know that guy.
So we were kind of talking about how Dot is getting out from under Arthur's shadow and
Yes.
doing her own. Can you talk a little bit about developing Dot, kind of what she's going to be going through next season, and with everybody in it, Overkill?
Yeah, I mean, it was a real important development. It was something like, I mean, this character, Dot, we came to understand even in the first season, she represents something in genre. She represents this weird tokenism and the tertiary nature of females in what was initially a male-dominated genre. So it was sort of this, the version I remember from youth, I mean a long time ago now because of being old, that we would play army in the meadows, and the boys just knew we're soldiers, and the girls would be like, okay, I'm a nurse. And they would self-assign nurse. And we'd be like, cool, you're a nurse, I'm a soldier, I'm going to go do this, you go do that. That was the start point consciously for Dot. This is, again, like a story that we want to tell over seasons. And so Arthur had to start where he started. The story had to start focused on Arthur and then the Tick and then the boys, and actually take us through a period of time where we really were doing what culture has done before, because we had to start there. So Dot had to take time. She was in the penalty box that culture built for her. And then moving into the second season, the point was she didn't get to have her experience with trauma that Arthur did, because she got relegated to that secondary position of caretaker. So when that is no longer available to her and the trauma cascades down on her, that story, we're watching a story that matters to us, and that's her story, and it's important, and it's moving into a primary space against the will of the genre it's in, like against the actual forming instincts. Every forming instinct of these stories fights against it. That's like weird, like to feel an invisible storytelling force that's alien to oneself as you're telling these stories. That's where Val was really important, because she's the one who's been this character all that time. So she's the one who could say, did you notice I did nothing but ask a question? I've just asked questions for this whole scene. Who am I? Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, what would you like to say? So together we were able to craft, I think, something that was very important. You know, it's one story that we tell in the season, but it's like a very important defining departure from, we would be like the others if we had not done that. And that was
Yeah, and I
important.
think Ben did a great job with Miss Lind too, because you were seeing in her character during the first season that she's resenting being an underling. She's not quite comfortable with it. She's not even comfortable with a relationship with the Terror anymore because of how he has let her down and then tried to swing her back. It's almost like a bad marriage, you know. You don't tell me anything, and so I don't know if I can be loyal to you anymore. Oh, you're telling me this story. I don't know that I can be loyal to you anymore. And so it felt great that Ben sort of created for Miss Lind her moment to, you know, her metamorphosis in a way to grow in this second season.
Is Miss Lind in the tilt status?
The
The tilt status.
in terms of where she might end up.
Are the personalities merging? You are what you pretend to be.
Oh yes, no, she runs into issues with that. But I think that we're very down to the ground. Nobody really gets that much of a thermal under their nature where they're going to flip, if that makes sense. You were about to ask, and then.
I just wanted to ask about the Tick. Are we going to sort of learn more about where he came from and how he became the Tick? Because in this first season, we got a little bit. I read the comic books and I watched the previous season shows.
Yep.
But I was like, those are quite a bit different.
Yes.
From the other ones.
Yes, and there's a lot of opening of questions in the first season about the nature of the Tick and the nature of just even reality in our show, because Arthur is sort of on the border of perceptual lunacy. This is something that we play with more in season 2, but that story is another one that's designed to kind of tell itself over a set of seasons. Like really the sort of saga of the Tick and Arthur is designed to kind of like over time will reveal those truths. And I understand them, we know them, but it's like it goes. We really want to get people invested in the fun and the excitement of the universe now, because we put those questions into the DNA of it, and so they're cooking, you know. And then seasons 3 and onward, hopefully, we're going to develop those ideas more and more.
Further, yeah.
Back to your penalty box metaphor.
Yes, cool.
Are we, we're seeing sort of a development in our current, pop culture of like anything that's in the forefront. Is that something we could expect from the Tick in, like season 3, season 4? Like, obviously we have some agency for not, but are we going to see like other
Oh, for sure.
opportunities?
Oh, yeah. We've, I mean, basically, like, I think the season 2 had a lot about deepening Dot and Miss Lint and bringing other females in, but especially giving our grounding for them. We want more superheroes, more female superheroes is what season 3 would be about, is like getting there. We had some, and just there were too many, we just had to tell too many stories. So like, there's like, I'm excited to go further into that. If that's, are we supposed to go?
Oh,
or
sure. How much danger boat are we getting?
Lots.
Guys, we have to wrap. I'm sorry.
Lots. We even have a danger boat dilemma this season.
There's a danger.
Fabulous.
You find out all kinds of. You don't know the half about Danger Boat that you're going to find out. There's a Danger Boat episode.
Do you remember the menagerie from Star
past.
Trek? Yeah. It's like that.
And here's a hint. Someone left the cake out in the rain.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben, Barry.